Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at what happened to the Ligurian people. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, with special editions on Thursdays. Moving right along, mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Who were the Ligurian people? Where did they live? Do they still exist today? What happened to them? Today we will answer these questions as we take a look at these ancient people who thrived in their time. In pre-Roman times, the Ligurians occupied the present-day Italian region of Liguria, Piedmont, southwest of the Po River, and northwest of Tuscany. The Ligurians not only lived in northern Italy, they also inhabited the French region of the Alpes Maritimus. Little is known about the Old Ligurian language because there are no written records or inscriptions that have been found. However, numerous unidentifiable inscriptions in an ancient mysterious alphabet have been unearthed throughout the region of Liguria. One school of thought is that the Ligurians are a pre-Indo-European people, while an opposing view makes claim that they have a connection to the Celts. Frankly, I have found no link between the Ligurians and the Celts. Moreover, the Celts arrived to the region rather late. As for their name, Ligure, it has been in use for several centuries and never been changed. The origin of the name is currently unknown and is believed to predate the arrival of the Romans, Carthaginians, and the Greeks. The Greeks, and in particular the author Strabo, acknowledged the Ligurians several times. When Hannibal arrived in Italy, the Ligurians, who were much in demand as mercenaries, fought by the side of the Carthaginians in several battles against the Romans. According to Strabo and Diodorus Siculus, the Ligurians fought mostly on foot. They did not rule out cavalry, however they prided themselves on their infantry tactics. According to Diodorus Siculus, the Ligurians were fearsome warriors. In fact, he considered them more dangerous than the Gauls. Clearly the Ligurians had been antagonized by the Romans to submit to the Republic, which they had no intention to do so, most likely because the Ligurians had their own centralized state, which was divided into tribes. They lived in small villages or castles and ensured that all lands remained public. They worked together to share their bounty and were subject to a small tax given in concession. What of the women? They also shared the toil and work beside the men. Since each ethnic group was decentralized, they saw no need for a centralized political structure. Each tribe thereby decided for itself, and an egalitarian and communal spirit prevailed. Eventually, there was no noble class because all of the classes participated in the decision-making process. There were no dynastic kings. Leaders were elected by the people. This was done during public rallies, and people remained free to speak their mind. It is interesting to point out that the Ligurians did not practice slavery. However, prisoners of war were sacrificed to the gods. Like most ancient cultures, the Ligurians practiced polytheism, and their ancestors were divinized as heroes. Eventually, the Ligurians were brought under the heel of Rome, and their lands were annexed by the Republic. They were then absorbed into the Roman culture as they became Latinized. This brings us to the end of what happened to the Ligurian people. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. If you enjoyed this video, please consider joining by becoming a sponsor. Your support will enable us to continue putting out quality videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Traveler's Tales. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.